Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The word Gita we have heard in many references. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata Gita, that which is sung by the Lord. Except in the Hindi movies, when people are miserable, they sing. Normally those who sing, they are always happy. See? So this Gita is an expression of joy. It's an expression of happiness. When I go to so many places, when children ask questions, I am very enthusiastic to talk to them. Because their questions are born out of inquiry, jigyasa. But when the old people ask questions, it is not question, it is mainly a complaint. There is a difference between a complaint and a question. Are you all able to hear me? Then so long what I was doing. And when you say you can't hear, then how can you raise your hand? So this is making hum. Keep that also. Okay. Now is it okay? You hang around again, the humming is coming. Don't put inside my throat.
Much better.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
So this expression of happiness is called as the scriptural wisdom. Scriptures are not meant for us to tell that you are miserable. We know it. Has somebody to tell us that we are miserable? See, the other day I was in US or UK rather. We had a retreat there. 2 days meditation retreat. 3 sessions. 1 talk, 1 meditation, like that, 3 sessions. And there was one old man, about 80 not out. He said, Swamiji, if you don't mind, I will lie down and do meditation. I said, you can lie down, he did not get up. I had no objection. And after all this was over, he came and asked me, excuse me, I want to know, are you married? I said, no, I am happy. Scriptures are not meant for becoming more and more miserable. See? But we become more miserable in seeking happiness. The more we seek happiness, the more we are miserable. See? If the miseries come to us without our efforts, happiness will also come to us without efforts. Efforts are the obstacles in the expression of the divine bliss that we are. See? And therefore, Patanjali says, Prayatna Shaithilya Ananta Samapatti Dhyan. In one of his sutras, he says that a person who wants to attain perfection in asana, again you have changed my voice. So, a person who wants to attain perfection in asana, the definition is given. What is asana? Asana is not sitting in a posture. Sthira sukham asana. Remaining in steady bliss is called as asana. But if you see throughout the world, yoga means asana. Asana means sitting in one posture for a long period of time. And I have attained perfection in asana. All our buffaloes are great yogis. If only sitting in one posture is everything. Scriptures are meant for only one thing, and that we scratch our own mind and discover the bliss is in the depth of the mind. These days, when you go by flights or on the petrol pumps, they give you some scratching cards, isn't it? You scratch. And then you don't have anything to scratch. And then you take this key and all that. You try with your nail and it doesn't come. And you become angry, but you have to scratch. Jab khujli lagti hai na, you can't stop. See, and finally you scratch perfectly and you get a message. As usual, Murphy has surfaced. You are unlucky. Oh God. But our scriptures tell us, we scratch your mind and guarantee you are bliss. This is what all the Kapilgita talks to us. It is a dialogue between the Lord Kapila and his mother Devahuti. I'll tell the story in short. There was a great saint Kardama and there was a great king called as Manu and Shatarupa. They had children, as everybody has, and one of their daughter was Devahuti. She was very beautiful, etc., etc. And she heard from Narada that there is a great saint in the forest and he is so wonderful, full of all good qualities. So like Rukmini heard about Bhagavan Krishna and fallen in love with Bhagavan Krishna, Devahuti also, in her mind, she already mentally married herself to that Kardama. And then the story goes that Manu comes with his daughter and first of all praises the would-be son-in-law and finally they get married. So after that, then this he tells, I'll get married on one condition, that after the children are born, I will leave and take sannyas. Till the children are born, I will live with her. And like that time goes on and all with his yogic powers, he constructs a virtual aeroplane. This computer science, this virtual thing has come from the scriptures. It is not originally from the Gates, What Sardarji wrote a letter to Bill Gates. How come your name is Gates but you are operating Windows? And funny, when we have to stop, you have to start. So, this window philosophy is nothing but the working of the mind. This is what happens, you all have done it, but you are not aware of it. You sit for doing your japa. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Activated window. Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Suddenly this window disappears and another window comes. Dudh wala diya hai. I don't know why these people are making so late. And one after another, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows open. And more the number of windows you open, your machine becomes very slow. And ultimately, it hangs up. We will scratch your mind and discover that we are the source of bliss. And for that, this text is studied. So, the story goes, and thereafter, one day, his wife, who has really served him extremely well, when he was doing tapasya, looking after every need. And as a result, although she was a daughter of a great king, she became very thin, emaciated, like that. And one day he realizes, oh God, my wife has done so much for me, and I have not done anything for her. So he says, you deserve half the share of all the powers that I have gained because of your service to me. Then she says, as a married woman, I naturally desire to have motherhood. That is all I expect from you. And then 9 daughters are born first. And the 9 daughters are married to the 9 Prajapatis. Then he is ready to go to take sannyas and go to forest. Again he looks at her, she is so miserable. What happened now? Now they are all married, they will go to their in-laws' place. Then what will I do? Jao to jao ka. Again that is true. Then he remembers, yes, the Lord has told him that I will be born as your son through Devanti. And then by yogic powers, Bhagavan takes avatar as Kapil. And when the child is born, the father Kartavya goes to him and does namaskar to Dakshina and tells, "Oh Lord," the whole story goes, He is the creator, destroyer, etc., etc. And he goes to forest. Now, the son, Kapil, Devahuti, the mother, they go and stay in a place called Bindusa, wherein the son is taking care of the mother. And one day, the mother asks him a question. And this is how this Kapilgita is spread over 3-4 chapters. We will take only one chapter. The other portion I will tell you in short. So, in this manner, when the son and the mother, they are together, Devahuti, the mother, the disciple, she asks, Nirvinnam nitaram bhuman asat indriya darshana yena sambhavyamaneena prapannantam tama prabho tasyatvam tamasodnasya dushpanasya parakam chakshur janmanamte dabdam metat anugraha ye atyo bhagavan pumsam ishvaro vai bhavan gita lokasya tamasantasya chakshu surya yodita athame deva samboham apakrushtam tumarasi yo avagraho aham mameti etasmin yojayistvaya. O Lord, by you being my son, you have already done a great favor and I am almost liberated. However, this darkness of ignorance, which is in the form of 2 things only. One is the minus mamata and the I-ness ahanta. These are the 2 factors which tie us down in this relative world and we continue to suffer. And therefore, kindly tell me, how do I get out of this? And when this was said, the teacher says, straight away, not beating around the bush. Yoga adhyatmika pumsam matomi nishreshayaya me atyantoparati yatra dukkasya cha sukhasya cha. The principle I have taken. I am not happy with this mind. It is constantly humming. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's okay now. Don't play. In the relative world where we are all existing, there is no solution for any problem. No solution. Take health, take economics, take politics, take natural calamities, take the in-law, outlaw. Any problem you take, it has no solution. Problems cannot be solved. This is the thumb rule. Then problems have to be dissolved. This is what the teacher says here. That yogaha adhyatmikaha vamsam matomi nishreshayaya me atyanta uparati yatra sukhasya dukkasya. Unless we enter the kingdom of the absolute existence, there is no way out. Because when I call this girl, she is very beautiful. I have already created somebody as ugly. When I call her as she is young girl, I have already created an old person. When I call her as she is very rich, I have already created a poor person. When I call somebody as intelligent, I have already created a dumb. Think. It is we who create the relative world. So unless we recognize this basic principle, in the relative world, there is no absolute solution to any problem. Then what is to be done? What do you do? Although Jagannathan uncle has said that Swamiji, we are also from Karnataka, we are not, but this is what I want. You should continue to do only Nataka. See? Don't become serious that you are a mother-in-law, you are a daughter-in-law. One day when I got married, my husband was very nice. But you know, in our Indian tradition, get married to one boy and get the in-laws free. No? Buy a mattress and get 2 pillows free. So I also got, one pair of in-laws free. And when I got these in-laws free, and anything that you get free is only because there is excess in their shop. Therefore, they want to get disposed of. It is not giving any benefit to you. In the same manner, in-laws are unwanted furniture. So that I got. And then I started suffering. So miserable I was because of my in-laws. And then started thinking, because I am a Vedanti, I started thinking. And then one day in my meditation I discovered, look here, your problems of in-laws are accompanied because of your husband. So I had took a decision, let me divorce. I divorced from my husband. When I left my husband, divorced him, what sadhana I have to do to get rid of the in-laws? By default they will go. Exactly the same way. Till such time, we live in this relative world as if it is real. You will get the accompanied problems of in-laws and outlaws. Then what should we do? This is where your state comes into picture. Karnataka. That's it. If your mother-in-law comes, smile. You don't have to be happy with her. But don't you smile at cartoons. Just get rid of all this relative world. Don't give any value to that. See how simple the method is. Therefore, yoga adhyatmika. When we give importance to the world, we go away from ourselves. And when we go away from ourselves, what are we? We are bliss. When we go away from ourselves, what will be we? Blisters. Now experience right away. Look at the black backdrop behind me. And experience where are you? You are away from yourself. Then come and look at the camera. You have come relatively closer to yourself. Now look at your own glasses. You have come still closer. Now look at your own eyes. See, friends. This is all the spiritual practice. Instead of this, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athavananam Jnanamihina Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam. So what is done is only this, scratch your mind. When you want to scratch your mind, you should be able to hold the mind. But normally what happens? Our attention is on that which is shown by the mind, not toward the mind. Therefore, Bhagavan Kapil Maharshi tells, Yogaha Adhyatmika Pumsaha. So, Adhyatmika Yoga means now our attention is no more on the world. The world has always been like this. This is another thumb rule, understand this. In Satyayug, there used to be Kasyapu, Hiranyaksha, terrible monsters. Then in the Tretayug, there used to be Ravana, Kumbhakarna, all the Rakshasas. Then in the Dwapar-yug, there used to be Duryodhana, Dushasana, Kamsa, etc. In Kali Yuga, we are all there. What is new? This has always been like this. There is nothing new in this world. See, friends, unless we recognize this principle, we will be only struggling and trying to improve the world, which has never happened. Therefore, tamimam te pravakshami yamo vacham puranake krishinam shrutu kamanam yogam sarvangani nipunam. Therefore, oh my dear mom, I shall now tell you that yoga, which is the cause of removal of both joys and sorrows from life, which I told earlier to great mass rishis like Narada, who were very keen to learn. This is another important principle. Why our children don't listen to us? Because they are not keen to listen. We go on pumping on them, listen, but they don't want to listen. Why the children don't want to listen to us? They know our reality. Therefore, those who are shrotu kamanam, those who are interested, to them only we should speak. Okay. Now, this particular thought is echoed in many Upanishads, Yoga Vasishta and Vivek Chudamani, so many places. Chetaha khalvasya bandhaya muktai chat manomatam guneshu saktam bandhaya ratam vapumsi muktaye. The teacher says, Chetaha khalu bandhaya muktaye atmanaha matam. It is the mind alone which is the cause for both bondage and liberation. See, in Amrita Bindu Upanishad it comes that mana eva manusyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishaya saktam muktaye nirvishayam smrutam. The same thought is recorded here, where the teacher says, Chetaha kalvasya bandhaya muktaye cha atmanaha. Our mind alone is the cause for bondage and liberation. Under what condition there is a bondage and what condition there is a liberation? The teacher says, Guneshu Saktam Bandhaya. When we are involved in the three gunas, which are the three gunas? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. How we are attached to them? Attached to the Tamo guna is at two levels. One is the objective world, materialistic approach to life, and second is the laziness, indolence and procrastination. When these two things become overpowering in our personality, we are attached to Tamoguna. Then, how we are attached to the Rajoguna? We have many projects in our mind. I have to do this, I have to do this thing, I have to do this thing, and as a result, mind is always agitated. And such agitated person can never be happy if others are happy. If you are at peace with yourself, then only you can be at peace with the whole world. If we are at war with ourselves, we cannot be at peace with the world. See? Such persons are more frustrated. If you must have seen in your own houses. See, Bhagavan created this world for time pass. There is nothing serious about it. So when you want to have time pass, you must have some wit, humor, jokes. Then only life is worth living. Otherwise, all the time serious like Americans do. So what he did, he bring the two opposite poles together, negative and positive. wife is such a gem that the moment she touches the bed, she sleeps and starts the Sapta Swara Samadam. And the husband is such, he doesn't get the sleep. Now the more she snores, the more he becomes angry. And she is never in a hurry. Have you seen anybody snoring hurriedly? There is no hurry. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And this man is more angry. See, in the same manner, we are attached to the Rajoguna only by this. Those who want to do something, do. And if others are sitting quiet, aapko kya hoga, baithe, hum karo. You suffer, why allow me to suffer? Attached to Rajoguna. Old people at home, they never like children sleeping late hours. Do you know why? First of all, they have no problem of getting up early in the morning because all night they are awake. So no problem. And when they see the children sleeping, they become jealous. So friends, attached to the Rajoguna. And then we are attached to the Sattva-guna. Goody. Unless we take bath, we don't take even a cup of tea. We are not like others, straight away from the bed to the bed tea. We are strictly vegetarians. We even take the soya milk, not the jaga milk. Cow's milk is jaga milk. Soya milk you drink and sleep again. And then we don't read all kinds of books and all that. We read only Upanishad. What is Upanishad? Wahi hai kuch to bhi Upanishad. Attached to Sattva Guna. And thus we get caught up in our own creation. See friends. Bandhaya Vishaya Saktam. Here Guneshu Saktam Bandhaya. And Ratam va pumsi muktaye. On the contrary, if our attention is zero, be very attentive. Concentration and attention is always on others. When I say be attentive, you are concentrating on what I am going to talk. But if I had to tell you, be aware, you are going to be liberated. Awareness is with reference to self. Self-awareness. And therefore here the teacher says, Ratam va pumsi muktaye. One who is constantly living in awareness. Be very attentive. What is the meaning of living in awareness? Instead of what is happening outside, instead of what is happening to me, I have done so much for the world, but the world doesn't understand my value. Instead of that, 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita tells, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Our awareness should be regarding the purity of our mind. Is our mind absolutely undisturbed under all conditions? See? Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsasi. So all the spiritual practice is function in the world, but keep your attention on the quality of the mind. Before we do anything, during the operation of that activity and after the job is done, our mind should remain untouched. See? At this moment, observe the quality of your mind. This quality is not created. We have not done anything. We have not done japa, we have not done pranayama, we have not done charity, we have not done yoga. Only we are migrating from the concentration to awareness. So the more we start living in awareness, we are out of this relative world of perpetual miserable existence. And therefore, aham mama bhi manam utthai kama lobhadi bhirmalai vitam yada mana shuddham adukkam asukam samam. And when our mind is aham mama abhimanotthai, whenever there is mamata and ahanta, myness and I-ness, there is bound to be three things: the kama, krodha and the lobha, desire, anger and greed. Three things. You know, one technique you try, it will help you. Always analyze and reflect on your own experiences of life. For example, experience of sleep. Now we all have the experience of sleep, and we all know in the sleep we were at peace, happy. Nobody is miserable in sleep. That is why people want to sleep so much that the moment they come to satsang, why? Because here we are distributing happiness, immediately sleeping. Now the question is, what is that because of which we are so much at peace and happy? Work on this. Then we will come to know, in the deep sleep, number one, there is no mamata. That time we are neither mother, father, brother, sister, in-law, outlaw, husband, wife. We are nobody. Second thing. Therefore, there is no secondary problem. If I am a mother, the children will start troubling me. If I am a husband, the wife will start bullying me. Now this principle if you understand, and then you sit for meditation, and then without knowing this principle, our complaint normally is, Swamiji, I am doing meditation for last 30 years. One person asked me. I said, that's your problem. No, I have got only one problem. The problem is, my mind is not at peace. Then for 30 years you were doing meditation. Was it cutting vegetables? What meditation? No, but why the thoughts come in the mind? I said, my mind doesn't have any thoughts. No, not your, my mind. You should know your mind. We don't go into the root cause. We only complain that whenever I sit for meditation, there are dirty thoughts. Therefore, meditation is the cause for dirty thoughts. See the wisdom. See, friends, instead of that, when you become aware, the moment the thoughts come, immediately find out whose are these thoughts. Then you will come to know that you as a husband sat for meditation, and therefore in your mind the wife was virulent. With the virulence in your mind, you cannot be at peace. Then what is to be done? How to remove the wife from the mind? Cease to be a husband, at least for time being. Give it a try. Therefore, play. What you have to play? I am not husband. I am not husband. By birth I was not. Is anybody husband by birth? No. Just give it a try. Then you will come to know this ahanta mamata is the source of all the desires. See? When somebody's child fails in the examination and we have to go and talk to them, what do we talk? Being Indian, we are all philosophers by birth. We tell, it's okay, don't say anything to him now. Who doesn't fail, I also failed so many times. And it's okay. If everybody will pass, then who will fail, It's okay, never mind. And then you never think, really, he's a wise man giving good advice. But if the same thing happens to my own child, then everything is a non-problem. So failure is not a problem. When my son failed, then the problem is beginning. So when I is there, the my is bound to be there, and when I and my is there, the expression of I and my is only in three ways. Desire. See? Now take for example. We are simultaneously parents and children. With reference to our parents, we are children. With reference to children, we are parents. Now with reference to parents, we are not that miserable. What is the reason? There is no choice. So children are choiceless existence. Therefore, they are not miserable because of the parents. But when it comes to our children, we are more miserable. So other people's children pass in merit, but why my son is failing so many times? Then what can I tell? इमली के पेड़ को आम कैसे लगेंगे? So how many of you always talk in riddles? Thank God you are not understood. Ignorance is bliss. See friends, therefore, wherever there is I and my, desire is bound to happen. Second thing, if desire is not fulfilled, expression of unfulfilled desire is anger. If desire is fulfilled, expression of fulfilled desire is greed. So, Kama, Krodhas, Tatha, Lobha. Bhagavad Gita. Trividham narakassedam dvaram nashanamaatmanaha Kama, Krodhas, Tatha, Lobha Tasmade tatrayam tyaje. One child asked this question. Why there are 3 doors to the hell? What reply can I give? Because wherever there is more rush, we have got more counters. And which are those 3 doors? Kama, Krodhas, Tatha, Lobha. Therefore, living our life for fulfilling desires, coming under the influence of anger and remaining greedy throughout life is living in hell. See friends, if we become little aware that till date what we have done, if we have to write our autobiography in one line, what we will write? We have been fulfilling our desires in life. That's it. बालस्तावत् क्रीडा सक्तः, तरुणस्तावत् तरुणी रक्तः, वृद्धस्तावत् चिंता सक्तः. This is our life, whole story of our life. And yet we have not learned that fulfillment of the desires is not equal to fulfillment in life. Now who can help us? See friends, therefore here the teacher very clearly tells, aham mama abhiman uttaihi. Wherever there is ahanta and mamata, this is bound to lead to kama, krodha and lobha, desire, anger and greed. And these 3 are narakasya dwaram. These are the gateways to the hell. And therefore, those who are living their total life only for these 3, they are living in hell. One day one old man came. Swami, please help me. I said, I am sorry, I don't give money to anybody. I got my principles. Even when you must have received number of times, you received phone calls, from the bank. Mr. So-and-so, which is the car that we have purchased? We have got schemes for giving loans for the car. I said, look here, I was waiting for such a call. but I have got some principles. Can you help me? Yes, we can. Please tell us. I accept only loans. No, I accept only donations. If you have got any scheme of giving donations, please send me any appointment. See, friends. So, this person came and he said, Swamiji, I am so frustrated. I have done every kind of sin and I want help from you. I said, money I will not give. He said, no, not money. Why? I don't want to go to hell. I said, I promise you will not go to hell. How come? I said, where are you now? Friends, a person who has not discovered fulfillment in life, he is living in hell. Two problems torture a person in the old age. One, kimaham sadhuna karavam, kimaham papam akaravam iti. Two problems. When I was young, why I didn't do the right things? When I was young, why did I go the wrong way? These regrets of the past, the load of the guilt is more than the load of the earth on the head of Hercules. Can you see Hercules with a smiling face? Imagine Hercules with, the whole globe. Impossible. He is not laughing with her. In the same manner, the load of the guilt, regrets, frustration of the past is precipitated on the face, and therefore, जाऊं तो जाऊं कहाँ बाढ़ में. See, friends, life has to be fulfilled, and it is for his purpose. This is required to be known. Yada vitam manaha, when the mind is free from this kama krodha tata lobha, when the mind vitam is gone for good, then manaha shuddham adukkam asukham samam, then for the mind joy and sorrows make no difference. Be very attentive. You must have gone through many countries, and when you go through the immigration, you have to fill in forms. The most dumbest form is American form. You have a big list there, and they ask you, are you a member of an active terrorist organization? Yes, no. So who is going to write yes? And they ask. Are some criminal proceedings standing against you? Yes, no. Are you carrying viruses and yes, no. All kinds of. In the same manner, when we came in this world, God has given us a form. It is written there. Anityam asukham lokam prapya. When you are entering the terrible, miserable kingdom called as the Martalo, the world of relative existence. It is full of miseries and tragedies. Question: do you want to become miserable? Options: yes, no. Those who tick mark yes, they are miserable. Choice is ours. God can be blamed for giving the miseries, but it is we who have a freedom to choose. See, friends, therefore, when we refuse to be miserable, we have understood everything in spiritual life. See, Bhagavad Gita defines yoga in a different manner, not twisting the body, but straightening the mind. Bhagavad Gita says, Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam. When the miseries come in our life, we refuse to be miserable. That is the meaning of yoga. And how do we practice this? Nishchayena yoktavya. Be firmly determined to refuse to be miserable. But then what will happen to the misery? Pass on to others. You don't become miserable. Swami, this is very bad. One person after my lecture came and told me, Swami, this is not good, you should not talk like this. I said, like what? You said, you should make others miserable. I said, yes, I said. Then, no, you should not say like this thing. I said, before that, what did I say? You said, you should never be miserable. Yes. A person who is never miserable, he can never pass on miseries. A person who is miserable, he can never pass on happiness. A happy person is not a destructive force. A miserable person is not a constructive force. Can somebody tell his girlfriend, darling, today I am so happy, I tell you, I just want to kill you. No. Happiness is not a destructive force. See, friends, therefore, Vitam yadamana shuddham adukkam asukham samam. This is how Tada Purusha Atmanam Kevalam Prakrutehe Param Nirantaram Swayam Jyoti Animan Akanditam. And then a seeker of truth is able to recognize, be very attentive, recognize the absolute reality which is expressing through the relativity by the strength of this practice of understanding, maturing and dispassion. When the discrimination becomes mature and perfect, it is called by other name as the wisdom. See? So when the discrimination becomes mature, it is dispassion. Living with dispassion and discrimination is the way of the wise people. Therefore, Jnana Vairagya Yuktena Bhakti Yuktena Chatmana Paripashyan Udasinam Prakritim Cha Ataujasam. And then such a master is functioning through the Panchakoshas, but is no more influenced by the modifications of them. This is the way, and there is no way out. Therefore, Prasanga Majaram Pasham Atmana Kavayo Viduhu Sa Eva Sadhushu Kruto Mokshadvaram Apavratam. Therefore, Prasangaha, the extreme attachment to the body and everything in relation to the body is the terrible pasha. Pasha means a snare. Pasha means a net in which we are tied down. And the moment one who has destroyed this attachment of I-ness and my-ness, his gateway to the heaven is open. Therefore, Didikshamaha, Karnikaha, Suradaha, Sarvadehinam, Ajata Shatravaha, Shantaha, Sadavaha, Sadhubhushanaha. Mai Ananya Bhavena Bhaktim Kurvanti Yed Drudham Mat Krute Tyakta Karmanaha Tyakta Swajana Bandhavaha. The whole thing is very simply said in this last verse which I read. If we are devoted for something higher, lower things automatically drop. You don't require any special effort for dispatch. See, one day one young boy, this happened in Ahmedabad, Manipnagar. After my lecture was over, from the stage I was going down, he was climbing. I said, get down, let me get down. And he said, I got a question. I said, keep with you, I don't need, I got sufficient. No, you tell me, what is wrong if I run after the girls? I don't know who is that fellow. Without him, straight away this question. With his helmet in his hand, like a baby. What is wrong if I run after the girls? I said, nothing wrong, run. Do you want a company? I can join with you. He was not expecting this kind of treatment. There is nothing wrong. I said, no, nothing wrong. You are young, you must run after girls. Very good, get done. And I was walking. No, you are not understanding my question. I said, you have not understood your question. Your question is not this. Your question is, Swamiji, whenever I want to study, my mind runs after girls here and there and I am not able to study. So what should I do? Is it not your question? Yes, this is my question. We don't know even what is your question. What do? I said, yes, I will tell you now. When your goal is higher, lower things automatically drop. How simple it is. See? And then higher goal can be established if we start living more and more in awareness. See? You must have seen in a school classroom, when the teacher is not there, children are like a poultry farm. And the moment somebody even tells, hey, this has come. Isn't it? The moment they become aware that something higher has come, who is capable of punishing us, everybody starts behaving properly. Now apply this principle. Remain aware that before I talk any word, it is known by the divine principle within. Before I do any action, it is known by the Lord. Before a thought erupts in our mind, it is recorded in Him. When we become aware that nothing goes unnoticed, automatically our actions, our words, our thoughts, they become controlled. See? What is happening with us is we are not aware. There's somebody sitting here who knows everything. See, friends, this living in this awareness is called as real devotion. Devotion is not taking the bell and disturbing the peace of the Lord. Dun, 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 dun. That is not the one. The real devotion is we remain more and more in awareness that He is constantly observing every small little thing that is happening through us. In this manner, Mai Ananya Bhavena Bhaktim Kurvanti. This is called Ananya Bhava. We are extremely aware of the divine presence and Matkrute Tyakta Karmanaha Tyakta Swajana Bandhavaha. And then for them, the relative world is just a big drama that is going on. Our Mirabai is one of the beautiful bhajan. Tata Mata Bandhu Sakha Apano Nahi Koi Sadhu Sangha Baitha Baitha Lok Laj Koi Mere To Giridhara Gopal Dusaro. When we are thus extremely aware of His presence, slowly, like in a dark room, a small candle is very bright. But when the same candle is slowly taken out of the dark room, it comes to the veranda, it starts becoming dim because the daylight is there. And when the same candle is taken in the blazing sunlight right on the road, the presence of that candle is not even recognized. In the same manner, first we become aware of our mind's modifications, then we become aware of the divine presence, and in that awareness of the divine presence, the I disappears and He alone remains. Kapil Maharshi is telling his mother disciple, Devamati. How simple it is. But we get so much involved in this world. We have to draw a line. Thus far, no further. We have not taken a contract to take care of the whole world. I don't know what will happen to my children. What has happened to you when you are alive? Forget about your children. Please remember this. All that we give to our children is only the condominium constructed and given. The occupant is not created by parents. The occupant has come from somewhere. Whether he is a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, or whether he is going to eat you, God knows. Therefore, such people who have started becoming more and more aware, Madashraya Katha Mrishta Shrunvanti Kathayanti Cha Yanti Vividastapa Naitan Madgata Chetasa Ya Eti Sadhava Sadhvi Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaha Sangaste Shutate Pratyam Sangha Dosha Harahi. Such great masters, my dear mother, spend more and more time in the company of such dispassionate Mahatmas who will again and again emphasize withdrawal from the world through wisdom. Withdrawal from the world through wisdom is called as dispassion. Withdrawal from the world through foolishness is called as a depression. In both the cases, the one who is depressed and the world who is dispassionate, the person who is dispassionate, their expressions are same. A dispassionate person is not influenced by anything around, and a depressed person is also not influenced by anything around. क्या हो रहा है? क्या हो रहा है? तबीयत ठीक नहीं, किसकी? कोई दुखता है? क्या नहीं दुखता? Understand, he has reached the height of frustration. Therefore, friends, spiritual life is not getting into a depression mode, but into a dispassionate one. After this, the teacher, the student Devavati asked the question that I am a woman, ignorant, I don't know anything. How can I practice this devotion to the Lord? Because I am not that intelligent enough to practice this kind of devotion. So what should I do? Please tell me. And then Bhagavan very beautifully tells, look here, there is only one simple way, and that is that whatever you are doing or not doing, if it reminds you of the Lord, it is perfectly all right. When you eat, remember the Lord. If you don't eat, never mind, remember the Lord. So the question is, how to remember the Lord? One simple rule I am telling you. God is only happiness. God is only bliss. So remembering God all the time is what? When you eat, eat happily. When you walk, walk happily. If you are sitting, don't want to walk, never mind, but sit happily. When you talk, talk happily. When you listen, listen happily. See, what you do more than that, how you do is important. And when you do anything as an expression of joy, you get 100% involved. Then you start enjoying life. It's not, I went to somebody's house for food. That is my professional hazard. And then I went to their house. I said, Mama, there is no salt, give me some salt. And you are not giving me achar you give. So she gave me and she said, Swami, but my husband never even asked for salt or anything, How come you ask? I said, look here, I am a human being, I enjoy food. Buffaloes never ask for the salt. See, friends, whatever you do, take full interest. This is the highest spiritual practice. But everything we do half-heartedly, never do wholeheartedly. We do with the hole in the heart. And with that hole in the heart, when we have developed that character in our life, everything we do half-heartedly. Therefore, we sit for meditation half-heartedly. You are obliging God or what? The day you understand this principle, anything you do, get yourself fully involved. You are thereafter living in meditation. Meditation is not a collective silent suffering in darkness. See? Many places you must have gone for these tortures. They will have meditation sessions going on. The first thing that you do is switch off all the lights. One of the victims asked me afterwards. He said, Swami, you never asked to switch off the lights, when we went to such and such place. They asked. Why? As you asked, they didn't know. Don't know what could be the reason. I said, reason I can imagine always. Because when the light is off, both the student and teacher can go to sleep. And after the meditation is over, then everybody becomes awakened from sleep. And I am feeling very fresh. Naturally, after sleep you feel. In one place, I will not tell you the name and place and the person. He will come. Very big Mahatma kind of thing. I also went there because I was invited. And for meditation, so I told, never do meditation. This is how I started. And they were so frustrated. Thereafter his session was there. And then he gave, this is Yama, this is Niyama, this is Asana, this is Pranayama, this is Pratyahara, one line. Now, those who are at the Yama level do meditation for 3 minutes. Those who are at the Niyama level, they do meditation for 5 minutes. Those who are at the Pratyahara level do meditation at 10 minutes. Meditation level. And then, don't worry, I will ring the bell. So, like Ganti before the Lord, he sits with them. And people are sitting for meditation. Yama level meditation, you can go now. What more cartoons you want than this? How can you be miserable in this world? This is not meditation. Live in meditation. See, Dukkeshu anudvignavana, Sukeshu vigataspruha, Vitaraga bhayakrodaha, Stitadi muni uchate. That is what is called living in meditation. For us, meditation becomes a terrible torture, And then they will discuss among themselves. तुमको क्या हुआ? लड़की. Meditation में क्या हुआ? Is it maternity home or what? All these things I am telling you because they come and talk to us. Therefore, I know others how to help. When husband wife came, wife complained, Swami ji, इनको light दिखता है, मुझे दिखता नहीं, ऐसे क्यों? He sees the light, I can't see the light. Why this is happening? He said, Amma, you are misused. Replace the bulb or remove his bulb. It is meditation. Don't get carried away by all these things. Anything which begins and ends is an illusion. See, friends, do we do waking? No. We are in the waking experience, then do the things. Do we do dreaming? No. We are in the dream, then we do the things. Do we do sleeping? No. We are in sleep, then we snore. In the same manner, we have to live in meditation and then conduct ourselves in this world. See? Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadaya. Otherwise, you will get totally confused in life. That is why this Kapilgita very clearly tells that let this divine bliss be the only expression of your life. And this is clearly understood. Then we have entered this Kapilgita as an introduction. Now, after this, in the 26th chapter, the teacher gives all the details regarding how from Prakriti up to the gross objects, the whole creation takes place. That we will bypass, and then the book which is in your hand, that is the 27th chapter, and then the 27th chapter has got 30 verses probably, and we will study them in sufficient depth. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kapil Maharshi continues telling his mother, Prakriti sthopi purusho najati prakrute gunehi avikarat akrutvatva nirgunatva jalarkavata. Now this is one of the most subtle principles to be understood. Whenever we are observing life, if we are observing in the light of the scriptural wisdom, our experience of life will be different. And if we are observing life under the influence of our foolishness, then the experience of our life will be different. Now here is an example. When we are, take an example, standing before the mirror, and in that mirror there is a candle or a fire which is reflected. So will the reflection of the fire burn the mirror? No. If there is a reflection of the ocean, will the reflection of the waters wet the mirror? If there is a huge elephant reflected in the mirror, will the mirror feel the load? Oh God, because if there is a beautiful girl standing before the mirror, will the mirror say, hey, wait for some time, yes, don't go. And if a person like me standing hot, will it be said by the mirror? No. Because reflections cannot influence the medium in which reflections are happening. Correct? Now, what you are seeing me or I am seeing you, in fact, we are not seeing each other. What is happening is, we are only seeing the reflections. How the object is recognized? When an image is formed on the retina, then that image is caught by the mind in the form of thought, and the thought is bathing in the light of consciousness. Then only the image is recognized, and then only the knowledge takes place that there is something. Suppose you don't allow an image to be formed. Either you close your eyes, no image is formed, nothing is experienced. But it is there. So what we are seeing is not the original object, is only the images. See friends. Now like the images cannot influence the mirror, in the same manner, whatever we are experiencing in this world cannot influence our mind. It is a wrong notion that we are miserable. It is not possible. See friends, only come to recognize this principle. This is what the teacher says here. Prakriti sthopi purusha najyate prakrute gunehi. In the same manner, now another way of looking at it. Here example is given, jalarkavat. If I am standing near a steady pool of water and look, my reflection will be as I am. And if a dry leaf we throw in the water, there will be circles. And because of that, our reflection will be appearing to be moving. But is our reflection moving? No. That reflection appears to be broken. But is the reflection is broken? No. Why? Because reflection appears, it is not. It is only an appearance. Exactly the same way, we, the absolute conscious principle, expressing through the limitations of the Prakriti, appear to have been reduced to a limited being. But essentially, we are not reduced to a limited being. It is here yoga and Vedanta differs. See, Sankhya, Yoga, they all the time talk about as many shoes, so many souls. Similarly, as many bodies, so many jivas. And after the body drop, the soul goes out. If you are a yogi, it will go out from the top. If you are a bhogi, it will go from below. See? And then it will be in search. We have to go, we have to go. There is a end to this. See, friends, before we accept jiva, let us find out, can we define jiva? See? Husband is miserable. Okay. Define husband. What is husband? Husband is man plus the limitation of the conditioning of wife is called as a temporary phenomena called as husband. Is it not? And when my wife died, where the husband has gone? Think. So like man is Brahman, husband is Jiva. But what is the reality? Can the Jiva exist without being a man? What is the reality? Reality is the man. Husband is not the reality. If husband is not the reality, why become miserable because of wife? Think. When we talk about Jiva, so last life, this is all stories. Don't get carried away by that. See, friends, and the day you cognize this principle, for prakrutisto hi purusha na jate prakrute gunayi avikarat akartrutva nirgunatva, because the sun which is reflecting in the water, artham is sun. When the sun is reflecting in the water, be very attentive. The sun is not influenced by the quality and the modifications of the water, number one. And even the reflection of the sun is also not influenced by the quality and the modifications of the water. In fact, nothing is influenced. In the same manner, Paramatma expressing through the masculine body, and the same Paramatma expressing through a donkey's body. It makes no difference. Like the sun reflecting in a Ganga Jala or in a liquor bottle, it makes no difference to the sun. See, friends, how simple it is. But what happens? The teacher said, Sa esha yargi prakrute guneshu abhisajyate aham kriya vibhudatma karta asmitya vimanyate. But this dumb fellow starts prakrute guneshu abhisajyate. He gets influenced as if by the qualities of the prakriti. See. And what are the qualities of the prakriti? Tamoguna is body identification. Rajoguna is jiva. I want to do sadhana, I want to do meditation, and I want to realize God. What will you do after realization of God? Imagine, I am God sitting in front of you. Now you are realized. What next? Are you going to die? You have to continue living, is it not? So don't get carried away by all these things. Or else you will get all imaginary. I saw God one day and then thereafter he has gone back. Kya kar rahe? Don't run. See, friends, again in the same Bhagavad Mahapuran, the story of Dhruva comes. Dhruva had the vision of God. What thereafter? When his stepbrother was killed by the Nishad in the Badrinath area, he became so angry and he wanted to kill the whole population. That time, not the God, but a saint and sage came to him, Manu Maharaj, and said, look here, If somebody has done bad to your son, your brother, you kill him, not the whole clan. What people will say? He is a devotee of the Lord who had the vision of the Lord, and yet he cannot love his creation. See, friends, this vision of God, God realization, etc., don't get carried away. Here the teacher gives us a totally different experience towards the end. When we go, we will come to know that the real meaning of recognition of the self is different than what we are understanding as God realization. Therefore, avikarat akartrutvat nirgunatvat jalakavat. Like the reflection of the sun doesn't get influenced by anything that is happening to the waters, in the same manner, neither the Paramatma is miserable nor the Jivatma is miserable. See? Like the sun in the sky is not bound. Similarly, Jivatma is also not bound because he is not there. See, friends, this happened somewhere in Europe. One lady, after my session was over, she said, Swami, had you come in my life 20 years before, I said, even then I would not have married you. Not. I would not have divorced 3 times. I said, anyway, now don't die of food, I'm okay. I said, now I will ask you one question. My question is, when you got married to your first husband, so let us, for our calculation sake, you were W1 and he was H1. Like H1, H1. So you are W1 and he was H1. Then you divorce. Then you again got married. So you were then W2 and he was H2. Then again you separated and then again got married. Then W3 and H3. Now my question is W1 equal to W2 equal to W3 equal to question mark what? Are you 3? Where they have gone? Think. I as a man, with reference to my father, I am a son. With reference to my wife, I am a husband. With reference to my son, I am a father. Am I 3? How this one has become 3? Expression of the one through 3 conditioning appears to have made 3. So when my son dies, the father will disappear, but I as a man continue, is it not? Then what happened actually? So when my son died, the father where he has gone? He has gone nowhere because he was nowhere. Think, friends, the day you will catch this point, you will stop doing meditation. Will start living in meditation. Otherwise, one student came. Swami, I have done the CAT scan, dog scan, everything, but my headache is not going and they say everything is normal, but I am suffering deeply headache. I don't know what I should do. I said, my conditions are very clear. No discussion, no argument. Sit down. She said, no. I just did champion polish to his head. I said, now treatment. For next 1 month, no meditation, no study, no observing fast. Eat as much as you can, sleep as much as you can, go for outing. I will allow you to go see movies and come back. Within 15 days, he came, I am perfectly all right. He said, then what happened to me that day? I said, you are suffering from spiritual poisoning. The poison has to come out. Wherever there is a struggle, we are going the wrong way. Wherever there are too many efforts, we are not normal. Those who have, hearing problem, hard of hearing, they have to put lot of effort to listen. And after some time, they get tired. Others are listening, but these are tired. Then after the lecture is over, they are the first one to come. Swamiji, your talk was fantastic. You ask them, what did you talk? That's a separate issue. What it was. Now, why they were tired? Because they were putting efforts. So that is why whenever you are putting efforts, you are going away from your natural state of being happy. Therefore, Esha Prakrutehe Guneshu Abhishanjate Aham Kriya Vimudhatma. And then the arrogance begins. I have done this thing, I have done this thing, I have done this thing. We can't do nothing in this world. You must have done it in your whole life. Then a very big corporate meeting, everybody sitting, or paper, pencil, for drawing the pictures. There is no notes. Just to protect the furniture, they give the paper and paint to them. Other than start writing on the furniture. Check that. You don't know the human mind. I am very fond of this subject. I was in charge of a school for a few years. So sometimes, the parents will come with some complaint to talk. And the moment comes, they sit in front of me and near my table. And whatever is there on the table, they will take the paper, they will start playing. They will take the pen, they will start playing. They will take, that pin, cushion, they will start playing. Once, twice, I said, now how to stop this thing? So I kept one soft toy with me. The moment they are holding, wait, you want to play? Take. Therefore, friends, Aham Kriya Vimudhatma. I am not. We sit in the corporate meeting, and there the meeting has come to a peak, and one of us said, so everybody is ready to receive the sneeze with great respect. So everybody stops, and this fellow, he doesn't go. Even the sneeze is not under our control, and I have done this thing, I have done that. Aham Kriya Vimudhatma. And therefore, Karta Amasmi iti manyate. Therefore, how to get freedom from karma? There's only one way. Drop Kartritva. Bhagavan Krishna says, Mahate Sankastu Akarmani, and then Ma Karma Phalahetur Bhuhu. Do not become the cause for creating the karma phala. Karma phala comes when action plus doership is together. Then it is called as karma phala. See? On Ekadashi, if you eat rice, it is a papa. But after eating, if there is constipation, it is not a papa. Because constipation is not a papa and dysentery is not a punya. Because we don't do digestion. It happens. See, friends. Therefore, all these problems can be resolved only by right understanding. And for this, the teacher gives Tena samsara padavim avashopyatya nirvutaha prasangikaihi karma doshaihi sad asad mishrayorishu arte yavidyamanepi sanskrutirnam nivartate dhyayato vishayanasya swapnenatagamo yatha ataiva shanaischittam prasaktamastam bhakti yogena tivrena viratya cha nayedvasham. And because of this too much attachment to the body, to the world, one can start imagining that I am a soul. Be very attentive. When I imagine I am miserable, I continue to be miserable. When I imagine that I am unfortunate, I continue to be unfortunate. When I imagine that I am a soul, in the last life, I think I was a donkey. Don't make it a history. It is a fact today also. Don't get carried away by all these things. Last night, this night, next night. If any God appears in front of you, it is good to see God either as a cinema actress or a politician. But that is not ultimate. See, therefore, अर्थे विद्यमाने भी संस्कृति ही न निवर्ते ध्यायतो विषयानस्य स्वप्नेन अर्थागमो यथा. That is, says, when there is nothing available in the dream, yet we go through good and bad experiences. In the same manner, this waking experience also. In fact, there is nothing there, yet we go on imagining, I am very unlucky, and I am very miserable, and I am very lucky. These are all only imagination. Therefore, ataha eva shanahi chittam prasattam astam pati. So our mind, which is extremely attached to this material world. Material world begins from our gross body identification. The world begins from our gross body. It doesn't begin from anywhere else. The moment we are not identified with the gross body, we are nobody, we are nowhere. There is no concept of time. Today I came to Ajay's house, afternoon, after finishing food and gossip, then I slept. So when I slept, God, I was unable to understand where I am first of all. Because you are having by default you get up with the same bed, same bathroom, same direction. It happens, without any efforts. For me, this is my everyday sadhana. When I get up, first of all, where I am, what I have to do. I was in Delhi. There my evening lecture is to be at 5 o'clock and morning lecture is to be at 7 o'clock. So one day in afternoon, food and all that, running here and there, I slept. So I said, oh, it's 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock is the lecture, again I slept. And people were waiting there for the lecture. Somebody said, lecture is 5 o'clock. I said, so what, 7 o'clock is the lecture, don't disturb me. He said, no, this is evening. And then I okay. Start from Bhagavad Gita. I quickly finished my bath and ran there. When we are not identified with the body, the world doesn't exist. So all the spiritual practice is learn to live through the body, never live as the body. Om